A very fantastic evening to you, dear viewers, wherever you're catching the signals of Sararights TV from. I would like to say thank you so much for always being hooked to Sararights TV, and is what you call the sports decks right here, whereby we give you exclusive analysis in the world of sports right here at Sararights TV. It's always open from Monday to Friday in there from 6 to 7 p.m., whereby we give you exclusive analysis in the world of sports. But all in all, this show is proudly sponsored by Byte Designs in there, one of the biggest actually art design companies. Actually, we do have got in Arua, so they are the sole sponsors of this show. Not forgetting Sabirama Global Actual Vendors Limited. They do power this particular show in here. They always give us the money to see that everything is catered for. My name is Jero, the host of the show. I do have the only pride actually again in the whole world in the names of Robanga Ken Morris. You are most welcome to the studios of Sararights TV. Interestingly, there are a lot of sad news happening in the world.
Thanks a lot, Jiro. Thanks a lot, our viewers. Thanks to Sararights TV for it's a pleasure always being here with you guys and doing the sports. Yeah.
All right. Like Morris said, it's a big pleasure. Always been acting on the screens and whatever you are catching us. Those who are catching us live from Kampala, I would like to say thanks so much actually for always being hooked to Sararights TV. Those who are catching us within Arua City, we are equally so grateful. Those who are in diaspora, always we are humbled to see that you're always. We're always very humble to see that everything moves smoothly in there. Interestingly, there are a lot of actual stories developing as far as the world of sports is concerned, Morrissey. But the saddest is about the death of one of the most actually decorated players that Liverpool has ever seen, Portugal national team has ever seen. That's a player in the names of Diego Jota. He and his brother and him actually got some actually car accident in there, so all the two players perished. We start giving you exclusive analysis about that actually at a later time, whereby Morris will be important to give actually his actually massive verdicts about actually giving you all the analysis in there. But
all Cindy, Oasis, they have some good players. There are a lot of talent in West Nile. The only prayer is that let them. I pray to the organizers it should go successful. This is show whereby after the games, then you hear a lot of stories, tear gassing and everything. I think it shouldn't be here with primary games. They should actually. The coaches and the teachers should put a lot of maximum respect and teach these kids how to behave at the early stage. You know, they always say everything begins from home. So if you don't teach your kid well, that's where you always find the misbehave and the everything there. But this is the time for us to wait and spot also more talent of these under 14, under 16 kids, because I think that's one of my departments, spotting these young lads, and I hope to see the best school to win. Will always be there, because this is a competition whereby you must win and you must lose and you must draw. So we just wait for the right time to come and be. I think we shall be catching up with some other games live, also with Sararights TV, some schools around. So it's high time. The clubs who wants to put up academy, this is the right time.
That's the most essential observation about these games in here. So some of these games will be broadcast and have enough data actually on your phone to see that you kind of get actually cast up with some of these games in here. But more about Saban's story. Remember, by the time when he Ali Benghazi, but at that club, things were not actually moving smoothly for him. He was not having that playing time. And remember, he was launched, and again, Mohamed Saban, as I talk, is in Uganda and particularly in Arua. I see him training at Twambe, and the latest that we are getting indicates that he needs 200 million actually Ugandan shillings as his sign-on fee and 10 million Ugandan shillings actually as his salary in there. He's demanding a team in the names of NEC. I don't know whether NEC will be important to splash this money to Mohamed Saban.
NEC is a new club. they have got a lot of young talented kids. They finished the second actually on the log. It's a very good team. It will be a very good move for Shaban. If NEC is ready to get that money, I could advise actually NEC to move on and get Shaban. You realize Shaban, his journey to like playing abroad, it has never been so successful. He only left the club and went to Algeria, to Morocco. Things Casablanca. Things didn't work out well. At the same time, things didn't work out well for him. I think it's high time he should now realize and focus on the home club, because when he was at KCCA, things also didn't work out well for him. But even when he came back to Nduparaka, he was scoring goals for fun. When he went to KCCA again, he played a very good game. He had his, if they go out, they should follow them. How is their form in their recent clubs? How are they doing? So if they don't follow them, that means you don't make a name. But understand?
But what is actually the statistics that I'm getting indicates that as Mo Saban, where he was in Libya, to actually, to a country which is more of actually Muslim base, and again Algeria.
He's still a very good player. He can still make it when he comes back to NEC. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's all what we have for you regarding actually Mohamed Saban's story, which I'll be keeping you posted actually with one of the latest developments concerning actually his next move in there. So we shall be seeing whether Mohamed Saban will be going back to KCCA, whether he'll be on the Praga at 4 big level is what we are here to see. But let's leave that at that and talk about Chitara Football Club. Remember, this is a club 2 seasons ago have been actually craving actually to see that they become one of the powerful clubs actually in the Ghanaian history. They were kind of so open to the public, and all of a sudden last season things never actually went on their side, and money-wise they are what we call bankrupt, and they're looking for players in there. So the players that they're looking for, they want players on trial. So most of the players, they're leaving because of money issues. So what would they do with the new actual kind of recruits that they want to have, because they're giving players trial? Of course, all these players are supposed to come with their boots, they're supposed to come with their national ID or the school passport photo, so you're supposed to actually cater for your transport means. So what kind of setup this by Chitara Football Club? Remember, the previous club chairman has quit actually football. He said he has done his part for the team.
I think he had made some good money with the club, because if you follow Kitara for the last 2 seasons, they have been one of the biggest club actually with high number of fans. So like you see, if there is poor management in terms of money, of course players nowadays, they need money. Everybody needs money. You're having a family. You want to send your kids to school. So a lot of things. So for me, Kitara, the kind of trials they're trying to do is a good move for them. Right now in Ugandan football, you don't look for money further, because most of these clubs, they don't pay players on contract basis or monthly basis. They only actually play they pay players on training allowances, but basically monthly pay, it's very rare for a few clubs. So like you talk about KCCA, you talk about Vipers, you talk about Police, you talk about there are a few clubs who pays. Villa, those are clubs who are a little bit stable in payments, but the rest of the clubs are struggling here.
But more we thought Chitara Football Club, this is one of the community-based actual clubs. They have got their family base. Remember, they are the only club in Hoima district that kind of plays their trade in the sometimes Ghana Premier League. So why all these things happen with this team?
You see, managing money is not something easy. It's very difficult. Yet, if you don't know how to handle money with players, because what I know, Kitara at least have made sales. They had a lot of stakeholders who had come in to support them. They had a very good capacity building of like a fan base raising. They were too good to the extent whereby I could not believe that this is happening at the club. But money issues, as I said, it can make you it can make you what you are, but at the same time it can fail you. So I think they didn't handle the money well with the players. So now what do you expect from a player? If I'm not being paid, I have to move on with and look for another club that can give me money. Yeah.
I remember they sent a couple of promised to stars in that team of theirs. One of them is Dennis Omedi. Remember, he made name in that team of Chieftaincy Football Club.
Even the sales of Omedi to this Rwandan club, these people they got some good money. They got some good amount of money.
APR.
So like, where is the money they use for selling Omedi if players are still demanding up to now? So like, poor leadership, and where there's poor leadership, club will always die. Yeah.
But let's talk about the Uganda Queens actually team. The head coach in the names of Mori Broker, so this is that it's high time that Uganda Queens actually, is it high time that we see Uganda Queens actually making it through? I mean, past the group.
To get if they have to get the Uganda has a capacity of even winning the trophy. But the only problem could be if they don't get the right players at the right time. Yeah.
But Ugandan team called 90% of this squad comes from KCCA and SC Villa, with some only limited from URA. Where do you see is this kind of other factors?
I think they like varying these big clubs, but if you come down maybe to Paida Black Angels, you could still get one or two players to play for you. If you go maybe to Calvary, you can get one or two players can play for you. Like if you come back to the regional league, you can still get a good two players or one player. It's only they don't take time of scouting. These are they don't take move of scouting these players well. They believe that these are the powerhouse clubs who can make it better. But at the end of the day, they may fail us. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the teams that Uganda will be playing up against. We have got Algeria that Uganda will be playing first actually at Nambo Stadium at 8 p.m. And then after that, Uganda actually will be playing against actually Guinea. Then after Guinea, you're gonna have Niger to play. Then after Niger, you're gonna have actually a big game against KCC. All these are done after the next one's in here to Uganda, and Uganda has been finding it very hard to see that.
I don't see any problem with Algeria because for our first few seasons they have been off guarded also. They are not too good. If you talk about Guinea, they have always been disturbing Uganda, but Uganda will always pick up a point from home. I look at I do see the group. Maybe Uganda may run as a second run-up in the group, then they qualify through.
But let's talk about the absence of Ronald Sesganda in this team of Uganda Prince. Remember, he has been so influential. His actual versatility was going to actually spice up everything for Uganda Prince team in there. But currently, as I talk, he has left the squad and he's in APR. So, team.
The most talented midfielders in Uganda, no doubt about that. He had proven himself when he was also still at Villa. He had proven himself to APR where he is at the moment. You should always have a backup. You should always have a backup replacement for a certain player. So if the scouting is done well, I believe they will get a better player.
But let's talk about his timing of going out to APR. Is it right time that he looked at the man a bit of it, or else he looked at more exposure? You remember, these tournaments will be broadcast live on TV. But I thought he could still wait after this game is getting over, and then he may be having a bumper deal somewhere because all over the world people will be watching these games.
It's all about later on. Payment becomes a problem. So where there is bigger money, I don't refuse anyone to his movement was all about money, and APR is one of the powerful clubs in Rwanda. So it's also a better club. So it's better he goes, get the money, and also expose the talent. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about international sports and talk about the tragedy and the demise of one of the actually more exposed players in the names of.
Okay. I'm ready to talk about international sports.
In the names of Diego Jota, he has kinda got himself into one of the nasty actual incidents, and currently, as we talk here, he's off. He's nowhere to be seen, and
Diego Jota with his young brother Andre, it's a big loss to the Liverpool club, to the Spain itself. It's a very big loss for the young lad. He's still only 28. Wow, it happened. It happened. There's no way we can avoid death. It's all about life. It's part of life. So it's only just still paying a tribute that yeah, may his soul rest in eternal peace, but he's a very big talent. He's a very good friendly person. Everybody was like, his smile alone is too happy. A father of three. He had just recently actually wedded some weeks ago. You can imagine the kids, the wife. It's quite painful. It's a big sorrow. I do miss him. Everybody misses him.
Let's talk about his his football journey in there. Remember where he started from?
He started from Wolves.
Not really from Wolves.
Yeah, not really from Wolves, but Liverpool got him from Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Diego Jota actually professionally started his football career down in Portugal, in a club called Gadoma before he joined actually Pafos, actually Ferreira, still in Congo. That's where he kind of signed up, and definitely after there, Team Atletico Madrid actually spotted him actually with his actual talent in there. Remember, he's known for his dribbling skills, and the ability to find the back of the net is what actually Diego Jota actually spotted more in there. But from Atletico Madrid, he was loaned to FC Porto. Then from FC Porto, then Team Wolverhampton Wanderers actually sent him in the championship. From the championship, he kind of had one of the tremendous seasons. Actually, the team promoting the team actually to the Premier League, scoring actually a number of goals for the team, 44 goals actually in 131 appearances for Team Wolverhampton Wanderers in there. But at Liverpool. From there, Liverpool got him actually from Wolves in there for around 41 million actually. In that period, it was Jurgen Klopp who was actually at the helm of Liverpool, and this young lad, he made Liverpool to win the Premier League actually. In there, he won 2 Premier League titles with Liverpool, and then he won FA Cup and the League Cup as well with Liverpool club. What an achievement for a player in the names of Diego Jota. Matches he has passed on.
It's a very good achievement for him. He did all this because of his talent. He had the talent. He had the brain for scoring goals at any time. He's going to be a very big gap miss for the club, as I told you, and the country, Spain itself.
But let's talk about Diego Jota's actual performance for his national team, that's Portugal. Remember, for Portugal, he was called up for around 50 caps, and in this Portugal twice. The recent one, then again he won it in 2025. Just recently, before his actually untimely death in there, his legacy will always be missed in the game of football. Diego Jota died at the age of 28. A moment of silence before we proceed to other silence. May his soul rest in eternal peace. In the football club, there about to complete the signing of Nico Williams, a player that the
is a very good creativity guy. He makes better runs. He dribbles anytime he feel like. He's very flexible. So like I think if you look at that combination, it's going to be very okay because they already got used into the Spain national team with Lamine Yamal. So you add on that more flavor of his kind of football. I think Barcelona is willing again, and maybe I think to take also the triple the 2025-2026 season.
But let's talk about the coming of Nico Williams. I think it will be of a big challenge to some other players.
I think the challenge will be to Rafinha, because I think it's going to be one of the good replacements for Rafinha. And this is what a club does. If a serious club will always look for a right replacement for a right player, because Rafinha is also a good player, but now he's aging up. So if you get a young lad like him, it will create more competition, play more better games than you, so that I keep on playing. So I think it's going to create more good competition for the two. But it's a good move because Rafinha, by a few years to come, I think he may also be joining the US clubs, because his retirement kind of clubs, because he's now old, 30 plus. Yeah, Rafinha. 29, 30, 31.
Let's first talk about the absence of Ansu Fati, who has crossed over to Monaco. Remember, he has just signed a new contract, actually, that will take him actually for a longer period of time with Barcelona. But Barcelona has kind of loaned him to AS Monaco. But is his coming, like you said, will be a big threat to some other players? I know Rafinha will be having the love that he has with Hans Flick is there. Hans Flick trusts him, and he has been so influential in that team of Barcelona last season when they win the treble. And Nico Williams coming would be a threat to one of the players that I think should be Ferran Torres. Remember, Ferran Torres is not actually into right actual hands with the Hans Flick. Hans Flick doesn't trust him all that much. Remember, in all competitions, 2024-25 season, Ferran Torres managed to score 19 goals and provided 7 assists in 45 appearances for team for team Barcelona football last season. So I think Nico Williams coming in will be of a threat to a player in the name of Ferran Torres, whom Aston Villa are much interested in.
I think yeah, it could be, but still, this is a player who moves from the two flanks. He can move from any flank. Yeah. So I think for me, I'm still saying it will create more threat to Rafinha, not Ferran Torres.
Remember the reason why I'm saying he'll be more of a threat to Ferran Torres is just because Rafinha is a double piston. Remember, he can use his left, he can use his right to shoot the ball. That's the advantage that he has got. And his work rate in that team of Barcelona is kind of immense. And Ferran Torres is not all that actually giving that vibe up front. That's why you see most of the goals that Barcelona has scored either will come from Yamin Lamal or as from the cross from Rafinha. Then Lewandowski always finishes it in. But I think Nico Williams coming will definitely affect a player in the names of Ferran Torres. So let's leave that and talk about Arsenal Football Club. One of the biggest stories that is coming from Arsenal indicates that they have reached an agreement with Team Brentford in a deal to sign Christian Nogard. You remember, this guy is coming as a direct replacement for a player in the names of Thomas Partey. Are we seeing Arsenal Football Club with these signings? You remember, Christian Nogard is already 31 years, and at the same time, Thomas Partey was also 31. So, where does it balance?
I think a player of in the name of Thomas Partey is still quite better far than Christian, because you look at his capability, physicality, mentally, is so good. I've been watching this young lad for long, but if you want to get a player, I think they would have got a player of around 25, 26, a long-time project.
Yeah.
So I think you're getting a player of the same age that will not give you a long-time project run. So it's not a very good business, according to me, with Arteta. I think he would have maintained, they would have given this guy a new contract and maintained Partey. Yeah.
But let's still talk about Arsenal. Remember, they are about to announce Nogard, whom they have signed already, Martin Zubimendi. They were about to actually unveil him. And then one of the players that they are linked to is the number one priority. You remember, the top agenda is to sign actually a natural number 9 in there. Before we talk about other areas of Arsenal Football Club, before we move to other clubs in there, let's talk about the player that have actually been yearning seriously in the names of Benjamin Sesko, that actually was rated at around £70 million, and Victor Gyökeres of Sporting CP, that was rated at around £68 million. And it has been alleged that Arsenal Football Club have had personal terms agreed between them and Victor Gyökeres. It's just a matter of Arsenal paying the money that Sporting CP wants for his services. So, what is Arsenal up to with all these signings? Are they winning? Actually, are they trying to work out to see that
they're trying to work out to come back into the league? To try something, win some trophies. Remember last season they went without any trophy. So if you look at the signing of Jokeres, he's a good lad. He's a very good player. At the moment, they are not in good terms with the club Sporting City.
Yeah.
He's not even coming for training nowadays. He wants to leave the club. It's high time that he also comes to England and try to prove himself right. At the same time, it's a good move, because if you look at Gabriel Jesus, it's an injury front. So if you get a striker, a real national number 9, like Jokeres, it's a very good idea. It will be a blessing that Arsenal will have such a player. So let Arsenal just work hard and get the boy.
They still talked about a Brett Evans of Crystal Palace. And this is a player Arsenal Football Club is much actually interested in. They talked about Abdullah Lukman of Team Atalanta, who plays for Nigerian national team. So we have to see whether out of all these players, Arsenal will be signing which one is what we are following closing there. But one of the latest that players that they're talking about is they're looking at a player at the centre back who uses actually the right hand side of his feet in there to come and deputize the likes of Saliba at the back line. So the player that they're talking about is a youngster who is still 20 years old, and he plays for Spain, in Spain for a team called Valencia. He's called Christian Mosquera. What a talent. And he's very okay, and he's 6 feet tall. What a signing for Arsenal Football Club. In case the deal materializes true.
In case they materialize, I think it will create a more competition in between Saliba and him, because he's still young. He needs to learn a lot. He should actually come and be patient with English football, because it's one of the toughest leagues. He's young. These are the projects actually Arteta should go for. Only 21 years. Yeah. So it's a good move. A long-term project. You will make it. It will give more competition right now in that Arsenal team, whereby you really, because if you look at last season, when Saliba got an injury, Arsenal was shaking. When Timber was not there, Arsenal was shaking.
Ben White is still there.
Ben White is still there.
Tomiyasu
is there. It will create that kind of, because in the club you need to have like 3 players in the same number to create more competition, because there are a lot of games. You're going to play in FA there, Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup. So you need to have fit players who can fit for any kind of game you feel like.
So let's talk about the presence of this youngster in case he comes to Arsenal. Remember, he has got that physical kind of setup. I think he'll be adapted so quick to the physicality of English football. At the Arsenal Football Club, the media is not always there actually to affect players' actual performance. It's not like for Manchester United, whereby the media always gives much attention to the players, and Mosquera has offered him a bumper offer, giving him around £150 million per week. What is what an income?
You see, the problem. That's why not that they don't have media, but they have media. The only thing right now, most of these clubs are trying to avoid using a lot of media, because if you look at most of the players who comes youngly and they are on form, media always give attention to most English players, and that's why most of them, after getting a lot of media attention, they flop. Most of them. If I give you an example, maybe Welbeck, you remember when he was still coming to Arsenal, because of him being an England player, they overhyped his name, and so he got that. He really got that hype, and then he didn't make anything. You look at this other player again, the Manchester United player, Marcus Rashford. They overhyped him. So so nowadays most of the media. I remember one time when they asked Klopp about Ben Woodman, he said, "I beg the media not to spoil this kid with overhyping him." So it has been a culture in England.
All right, Morris, let's talk about one of the players who has been actually very, very influential in the Premier League for Everton Football Club, in the names of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and his contract with the with the Everton is kind of over in there, and the teams that are kind of interested in his services, most of the notable clubs that are interested in his services is Fulham. Do you see that Calvert Lewin will be actually one of the biggest players for Fulham in case he moves to Fulham?
It's going to be a very good move. If you look at actually, Team Fulham is kind of like his club. He was not supposed to rush into a bigger club, so he need to prove to us that he's still a good player. Let him go to Fulham and prove to us that I've been the Calvert Lewins I used to score. Either he's good at aero ball, so. Let's I think with a combination of maybe Andama Traore, you'll get there Anderson. It will be a good move for him.
Remember, Marco Silva, the manager of Fulham Football Club, is one of managers who kind of loves to see aggressive players who are kind of very exposed in there. So Calvert Lewin, during his times at the Everton Football Club, he used to do a lot of magic for the team. I remember him loving to score against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. So we are yet to see whether Fulham will be signing him because he's a free agent. Even Arsenal can sign him, Liverpool can sign him, Manu can sign him. He's a free agent. His contract with Everton is kind of done in there. Remember, for Everton Football Club, actually, he made 274 appearances. So out of all these appearances, he scored around 71 goals for the team. That clearly says that he's one of the prolific players in there. And let's leave that and then I'll talk about a player in the name of Jadon Sancho. He has accepted that he's ready to reduce his wage demand, and Team Juventus is seriously interested in his services, and Manchester United has offered for the chance for Juve to sign him at around £25 million. Is that a manner that is worth of a player in the caliber of Santos caliber? Remember, Manchester United signed him expensive from Borussia Dortmund for around £75 million. Looking at that, what a loss will Manchester United get from that Santos selling there. Remember, he has never won major trophies with Manchester United.
It's a very big loss with Manchester United. I think the saga started in between him and Erik ten Hag. So he's a good player, young, talented player. But I think because of discipline issues, there are some coaches who don't like players who tell facts about them. So Manchester United is going to miss him for reality. His move to Juve, I think, is also going to be a very good move. Because if you look at Juve, is also one of the biggest club in Italy. So there's no problem there. I know he's going to pick up. He's going to gain back his form. He's going to score goals for Juve.
Okay, let's look at some of the statistics in here. Remember, when it comes to open play, he's always a player who fears to go physical, and that's the reason as to why he actually thrived very well in Germany with Borussia Dortmund. And with the physicality of the Premier League, he kind of struggled at Chelsea Football Club. Remember, the style of play at Chelsea Football Club is kind of so unique and it's kind of different, whereby you can't hold the ball too much on your feet. And at Juventus, with the physicality and with the philosophy that the team plays in, will he really struggle, or will he really pick up at Juventus?
For me, it's all about learning the league and like learning your fellow players, how you coordinate with players. Because if you in football, if you overhold balls, we always get injuries, and that's why he was kind of like also an injury front at Manchester United because of overholding balls. As you say, Premier League is a hard game to play. People have a lot of they play physical games, but is technicality and his thinking, that guy is good. He's going to pick up something at Juve. That's if he follows the instruction of the coach.
So, Maurice, let's talk about Manchester United still. There's a player that they are much interested in. Remember, their major priority was to sign Victor Gyökeres, who is likely to join Arsenal Football into one of the Premier League goal machines in the names of Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. Is Aston Villa, is Ollie Watkins the player that United needs at this point of time, or is he's not the type of player that Manchester United needs at the moment?
As far as he's a workaholic, he's a very good workaholic. He has the talent. He knows where the goals are at times. He makes those beautiful runs. But I don't see him maybe pushing at Manchester United because of, I think, Champions League, the Europa kind of stand. So right now, most of the reason why they're actually failing to get jokers because this guy wants to play Champions League. He wants to play a Champions League game. But if they are to get workings, it will be a better move because this guy have stayed in England. He has stayed in the league for long. He knows, he mastered the league very well. He knows the physicality in Premier League. So I think it's better they go for workings than jokers who have never played in the English Premier League.
He has played in England with Coventry already.
But it was not in it was in Championship,
But
not in not in the big tier Premier League itself.
But-
So this guy had been competing for several times in Aston Villa, and if you look at his tally of goals, is also good.
What is let's talk about? I know you're also brought a very good point. Let's talk about the leagues itself, the Premier League, and the the Liga down in Portugal. Remember, Oli Watkins was playing the UEFA Champions League, and he played against big teams. Against PSG, he never scored a goal. And yesterday, Victor Gyökeres was as well playing in the UEFA Champions League and scored good goals against good teams. So, rating all these actual leagues, you'll fancy that Victor Gyökeres has that upper hand, comparing him to Oli Watkins. Remember, matches Oli Watkins has been so consistent in the Premier League.
If you look at the tally of goals he scored for his club, it's a very big margin. So, and then he's a good player, but getting used into English Premier League is going to take time for him. Yeah, but if they acquire workings, then I think it's a good move for Manchester United. Right now, they don't need to rely on these players who aims for Champions League or who aims for Europa. They should look for a middle-aged player who can perform better. Working is the best move.
But can Manchester United convince Aston Villa to sign this player? Remember, Aston Villa will play in the Europa League, and Manchester United will just be playing domestically in England.
That's where now the challenge is. Those are the challenges that Manchester United is now facing. That's what I told you. Most players want to come because they know they are only playing Premier League, FA, and Carabao. So there's no another league they are going to play in. So if they bring him, convince him, give him good money, I think the guy will perform for them.
Remember, at Aston Villa, Oli Watkins has scored 17 goals and set up 7 assists for Aston Villa last season. And his valuation that Aston Villa has put on market is £60 million. Every player that Manchester United wants is always 60 and above. What is the secret behind this? And the Manchester United has acquired 2 players already. One of them is Matheus Cunha, who plays for Wolves. And then they signed a player in the names of Diego Leon from Paraguayan side in there. So he's a centre back, still very young, 18 years. So will Manchester United be in position to pay the money that Aston Villa is demanding for Oli Watkins?
If they have the money at the moment, they could just pull the money and give it out because they are not signing somebody who is yet new in the league. They are signing a professional player who had also, if you look at the tally of goals, you said 17 goals last season. Yeah. So like, if you look at the striking line of Manchester United, who scored those goals more than those goals so if you bring in a player like him, it's a better move. I could not even argue that or agitate. I could just give the money and say, I've made a better move. Yeah.
But let's still talk about transfers. And we talk about Liverpool. But now, remember, Jaron Kwesa has crossed over to a team in the names of Bayer Leverkusen. And Liverpool have signed in a player in the names of Jeremy Frimpong, which is the replacement for Arnold. Then again, they signed in Miles Krekres from Bournemouth. Then again, Frona Wills from Bayer Leverkusen as well in there. But let's talk about the target that Liverpool has. What they need right now, their major priority is to sign a centre forward. And then again, the other option is to have a centre back in there. So in that regard, the centre back that they are talking about is Mark Guehi of Crystal Palace. So looking at the scenarios that has happened to Liverpool, I'm not watching actually on the screens here that the fans of Liverpool are actually are kind of devastated actually with the untimely death of Diego Jota and his actually brother in the name of Andre Silva. Every fan is trying to actually bring flowers actually. I mean, at the verandas of Anfield living there. So, with the saga that is currently happening with Liverpool, do you see Liverpool spending money on players actually in the transfer? Remember the burial of the two players. Liverpool has to contribute something.
Of course, there's no doubt that you're going to avoid contribution. You have to contribute for your past for your beloved one who had passed on. Not only like even in a football club. Technically, even with us here. So, but that one don't stop Liverpool from buying players, and at the same time, I think they could now go on and add on another good striker, because you have lost a good striker, so you need to replace a better striker at the moment. And they've been moving up and down in the market, talking about Alexander Isak. So you really see that, yeah, that one will not affect Liverpool from buying more players. They'll add on some players.
Morris, let's talk about the kit ratings that has been actually manufactured by Adidas. One of the kits that has been actually trending so much is the one of Newcastle United. They are actually third kit in there. It looks very nice, and every club is talking about that. And Liverpool has got one of the best actually kits in there. So we're to see whether Liverpool or Newcastle United will be having the best actually kits in there. Let me hope you've seen it before, and the kits all look nice. And the one of Crystal Palace, I mean the one of in the team in the names of Newcastle United seems to be a good one, and Everton has got one of the best.
I think the one for Everton is still one of the best, then followed by Newcastle, then followed by Liverpool.
Moses, let's digest a little bit and talk about Italian Serie A. Remember, Antonio Conte, he's looking at the player in the names of Ademana Lukman. What is Antonio Conte up to? He wants to say Darren Nunes, Abdullah Lukman at Team Atalanta BC. This is a player who has been doing so well and caught in the names of Gasperini. What is Antonio Conte up to? He wants to pick up after remember, he has been in Italy before. I think he wants to actually create that dominance within themselves at Napoli.
I love the way he's doing his signings. If you look at Lookman, he's still a young player. He's so energetic. He knows where the goal is. Then if you bring in Nunes, that means you're creating more competition gap in between these two. Although Darwin Nunes has been not doing well in the Premier League, or at one point he scores one of the most important goals at the right time. I remember him against Newcastle when Newcastle was leading Liverpool actually 2-0. He came and like within 5 minutes, then he had to kill the show with those terrific goals he scored, a comeback. So it's going to be a good move, and like let him also try Italy and find out maybe where he may break through. You know, at times it's very hard. As I said, English league is something hard. So let him try Italy. Although in Italian Serie A, these are the clubs that plays more physical game, and a lot of hard tackles happens in. But I think they want to dominate. They want to maintain the trophy. Yeah, you want to create a legacy, because we used to see every time Juventus. But now things are changing. You find in Napoli comes wins. You find in FC Milan. Actually nowadays this AC Milan is even a little bit far. You look at Fabregas trying to make it also at Como. So that is the vibe. He wants to create that vibe. He wants to bring back the culture of Napoli of those days into the game. It's a good signing for him if he gets all the two players.
Now, what does it mean to the rest of other giants in Italian Serie?
Yeah, you need to go and also look for more competition. Yeah, you need to go to the market and also do your scouting and get better players for the competition to move on. Yeah.
Finally, let's talk about Chelsea Football Club before we talk about the players that they've signed in. Let's talk about bookmakers saying that the Chelsea Football Club looks to be the favorite to win the FIFA Club World Cup this season. Remember, their signings, they're kind of spot on, and this is a great also player that takes FIFA Club more of youngsters. And you look at teams like Real Madrid and teams like PSG and Bayern and Dortmund, these are clubs that have so far maintained the previous squad. Unlike Manchester City, that kind of signed several players, and Real Madrid only signed around two or three players, and Chelsea Football Club has dominated this, and all these players will be playing for them in the FIFA Club World Cup. So, do you agree to the fact that Chelsea Football Club looks favourite actually to win this actually year's FIFA Club World Cup?
If you look at Chelsea, I think this guy is trying to create some good development. But with this kind of signing, because if you look at the signing he made last season, he almost brought the whole squad, whereby it did not work out for him. So it's all about like. I think he's still trying, and you know, Marissa is someone who is so competitive, and he also came in and won some trophy with Chelsea. So it's not a bad coach. It's only the player that is bringing. If they catch up well with the league at the right time. Now, like a player like Delap, he has been into the league. So, like more players, more competition. I think it's a good move. It's a very good move. But according to me, still going to take him time to win the Gong of Premier League, because you look at the powerhouse Liverpool at the moment with the signings they are making. They're also making the right signings. Man City also made the right signings. Aston Villa is not making any big signings. Spurs are not making any big signings. So we yet wait to see, and let's wait the league to begin, and then we shall witness. At the moment, you may bring all these big names and they flop. Yeah.
All right, Maurice, let's talk about what people are saying actually on our social media actually handles in there. Remember, we mostly use the email actually to see that the messages actually that came through. We always respond to them. One of them is Vamika. He's saying about the depth of actually playing in the names of Thiago Jota. He says it's really hard to find words. Often, I'm so sorry for your loss. Express heartfelt sympathy. Other common phrases like my heart actually itches for you. They will be deeply missed. Comfy. That's what actually one here is saying. And then there's the one here that says in Africa, we will say the clean is aware. That's one that Otieno is saying here actually on our email line. Then there's one who says nobody knows what actually the next day or the next minute holds. Someone can be alive and healthy in a minute and gone in the next minute. That's what someone has said here. That's Daisy actually replying that to our email. And then one of the Junior is saying our guy just decided to get married 5 days ago, and then today he just actually decided to walk alone. This is so touching, and a player in the names of Diego Jota again is no more to be seen.
It's a very touchy. It's a very big gap. It's so touchy. But we need to just say it's good to give and takes. I just pray to the family to be strong. But losing two at a go in a family is something very, 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 very touchy. The mother, the father, the wife, and the three children. I just pray that God should give them that strong heart of accepting that, yeah, it had happened. We don't decide for ourselves. It's high time that we should also support them with our prayers, and so that they should be strong in their heart and mentally and physically. I think in Inshallah name everything will be fine with time. But at the moment, the trauma is still too big to the family.
Sammy is again saying that I can't only imagine the type of actual accident that that took the lives of two promising young men in sports in Spain. This is the type of something we hear of in underdeveloped countries. I just can't believe this right now. so sorry for you there. One is saying that Alex is saying this will set a lesson. Let's just build a house to live in and a car to drive with the few savings. The rest, soup. I don't know what he's saying here, but that's what he actually is saying. Pretty Vivian is saying, so painful may God be with his family gone. Uh, one called Pretty, yeah, Pretty. I don't know where your captain has life from. There's one called Fiona Garcia. He said after their sincere condolences to the whole family. That's according to Fiona Fifin there. And then Victoria is saying that rest in peace, Andre, and Diego Jota, you'll be deeply missed. That's according to one called Victoria. And then the Sid Pius, who said, my deeply condolences to his family. I know Sid Pius is a strong Liverpool fan. And at Sararights TV, we are equally saying our actual heartfelt condolences to the hierarchy of Liverpool. And we shall always be with apply in the names of Diego Jota in all our prayers. In the listener, that does it. Actually, our viewers, that does it for today's actual sports direction here right at Sararights TV. It's always been a pleasure being with you. Remember, this show is proudly sponsored by two great, actually, big companies in Arua City. That's Bike Designs, that deals in website designing, IT-related actual stuffs, and website designing. They will always give you the best when it comes to such kind of actual needs in there. And then Sabirima Global Ventures Limited, located at Golf View, as if you're going to Varadri, one of the biggest companies that offers a lot of services. Go there and make actual your offers with them. Probably you'll be sorted right in there. That's Sabirima Global Ventures Limited. I've been senior general presenter with me in the studios in the names of Robanga Ken Morris, the only pride actually in the whole world.
It has been a blessing actually sharing with you sports show Sararights TV. We love the followers, we love the viewers. Keep on following us. We shall always give you the best at the right time. And yeah, all my friends, all our friends of Sararights TV, we love you. Keep on watching, keep on following all the programs of Sararights TV. We shall always be giving you the best. Thank you.
Morris, actually, before we go off in there, let's first talk about the people you know. I know recently you've been in Congo. What is it, how was the life in Congo like?
It's good. It's good. I've been at Aruara and I went and enjoyed some nice meal. That is pondo.
Yeah, I know you for that.
So they are friendly. They are welcoming. I hope to work with them one on one, but I think we shall be fine. They are good people.
I remember last time I went with you to Aru, from Aru, proceeded to the province. We had fun for around 2 weeks in DRC Congo. In a special way, I would like to say thanks so much actually our host that side in DRC Congo. That's Onyango. You're always catching out of Sararights TV live. That's in DRC Congo. One of the ardent followers is Dalex down in Kampala. It's always a big pleasure seeing that you're watching us and you're following us closely in there. We're out of here. Up next is other interesting programs. Stay hooked to Sararights TV. We shall be back again tomorrow to give you the best in the world of sports.